Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we are finally putting the engine in. We're gonna pull it out and put it in. So stay tuned. All right, guys, it is a beautiful day out. Got some sunshine. Forecast shows that it's gonna be raining next week, so I gotta make sure I get this all done today. Or this week, so I got a few more days left. The idea is to label everything, take apart everything. Gotta really focus on labeling stuff, that way I'm not gonna have issues later, because this is my cheat sheet. This is what I've been using the whole time when I was building stuff and looking at things and mocking things and looking how things go, like where every line goes, and then I have to take it all apart. So I gotta make sure I focus on labeling everything correctly, and yeah, so I'm gonna take everything out, take the front out, take the engine out, and all right, look at that. That was quick. Sorry about the lighting. The sun is kind of shady, but anyway, so I'm making a pile of stuff that is useless and I have no need for, like all the brackets and everything that, like over here and stuff. So I'm taking off right now. Basically the whole front is off. I start labeling everything, all the wires and stuff, where they're going as I'm taking stuff off, and also stuff that I need to have off, like this whole bracket system, because I have a different bracket for the alternator that is cut. All this useless power steering stuff needs to go, and then the vacuum system, and basically just taking everything off. Like over here I gotta put a new gasket because I already took this one off. I'm not gonna touch this side because there's no need for it. I'm just gonna take off the exhaust and leave this turbo system, everything on, all the turbo lines. But other than that, just continue taking everything off and pull this thing out. All right guys, so I got this engine out and then all this fun stuff. Boom. So I got my wiring harness still in here, and I'm gonna leave it here, and then once I'm ready to pull it, after I clean all that up, then I will get all this stuff out of here. But for the meantime, I'm gonna clean this engine up, and then I'm gonna give it a nice wash, take the flywheel off, and get it ready to be swapped. All right guys, so I got the engine cleaned, got all the gunk off of it, and letting it dry, and next thing, gotta put it in the shop. All right guys, so here is the engine. It is I give it a nice wash. I still gotta take apart this engine mount, which I have to remove the turbo, so I have to take this bolt off, and it's hanging on this thing. So well, my plan is to put this on an engine stand, take off the flywheel, put on the engine stand, start from the bottom and move my way up. So I have to take out the oil pan, redo everything on the bottom, put in all the modified parts on, and then work my way up. I also got my clutch stuffs right here all set up. I got some gaskets over there, and then I got all my parts right here. I got my crossbar, engine mounts, the bell housing, oil pan, intake manifold, and I got this bay all ready. Let's take a look at this. It's not as fancy as they do at the car shows, but voila. Look at that clean bay. It's amazing how, like, the way it turned out is just perfect. Perfect. But it's ready. It's that time that I've been working hard for the last year and a half, trying to figure out everything, trying to learn everything, trying to build stuff, and I'm finally at the point where I can put everything together, and the day is here and I can't believe it. It's one of those days where this used to be just an idea 6 years ago, and today's the day I'm putting this engine in for the last time, hopefully. Well, I'll take that back. It's actually not the last time. This engine, my plan is to put the original into the car. I'm gonna run the original turbo, run everything original, and this engine works. The one I was using for mocking everything, it does not work. Well, it used to work, but the idea is to take it and rebuild it. And so when I get this car done, the plan is to take the other engine and do a complete build from bottom up, which is going to be interesting also, considering that is my first build that I'll be doing sometime in the future. But for the most part, right now the plan is just to get the car running. So in the future episodes, I might someday later down the road, I will be building a more powerful engine for this bay. But for the meantime, let's get this thing on a hoist, on the engine stand, and get this car back together. I want the engine in here. I want everything ready to go by the end of the day, so then I can start doing wiring and all the other good stuff. So let's get to it. Alright, so I got the engine on the hoist. I got the engine on the stand. Got it flipped upside down. I gotta remove this oil pan, remove this line that goes into the turbo, because I got a different line right here. And then I have to install a new pickup line and a new gasket slash baffle. And then I'm gonna put it on these screws right here, size 10, with some washers. And then I'm gonna torque everything. Got this really nice torque wrench. It goes up to 100, and it's old school, just like this car. And it's a great art piece, because the reality is, this is not old school build, this is a new build, and we're gonna use actually a torque wrench. So whoever's watching and wondering if I'm torquing stuff, yes, I am. I got a list of everything that needs to be torqued to whatever degree, torque pounds, whatever. So I will be torquing stuff as I go on, because this is the final assembly. So first thing, get all this stuff on, get the oil pan, then flip it back over, remove this engine mount, and continue on. All right, so quick update. This really nice brand new Husky torque wrench is broken. So I just bought it and it's not working, and we're gonna go with the old school because why not? So yeah, I'm gonna use this instead of that broken crap, and this one actually will tell me what I need to know. So yeah, anyway, back to it. Alright guys, so this torque wrench, it works, but it's 1/2 inch, and so I need to get an adapter to get in here because this thing does not go in. So I'm gonna have to go, for some reason I can't find my adapter, and I'm gonna have to go buy a new one and maybe exchange the other torque wrench for a working one. But in the meantime, I'm gonna come back and torque these later. Everything else I can technically torque with this. It's just I can't get the socket in here because it's deep. So I'm gonna continue torquing and working on all the other stuff, and then I'll come back and get these torqued later. But so yeah, next thing, engine mounts, turbo lines, and all that good stuff. Alright, so I got the engine mount on, the other engine mount on, and I got all my turbo lines, everything connected, the oil pan, and for the most part, all this side I'm gonna put on later because I got these knock sensors or whatever they are over here, and I have to run those first before I put anything else on here, because it's gonna get harder to get to them if I put everything else on this side. So next thing I'm gonna do is put it back on the hoist, take it off the stand, and start working on the flywheel. All right guys, so I got the engine on the hoist. Now I'm gonna focus on this stand. I pulled the bearing out. I'm gonna put in a new bearing, and I went, since I was renting some tools to pull the bearing out, I went and got another torque wrench. That way I can torque more stuff since mine is broken. And then I'm gonna put this whole clutch system together. Flywheel, bell housing, slave cylinders, master cylinders, and just put this whole end together, and it should be ready to be put into the car. All right, so I got the flywheel on, got everything torqued, got my alignment tool, boom. So now I gotta put this together, put this plate on here, and then put it all together and then move on. All right, so check it out. I got my bell housing on, my slave cylinder, my starter. I bought a brand new starter. This is the old one, and the clutch is all in, everything's lubricated. Now I'm gonna throw a starter on here. I mean, throw a jumper box, spin the starter, make sure everything spins, and then I'm gonna connect. This is the old slave cylinder, so I'm gonna take this off connect it and put the engine. Well, I gotta clean all that out first, and then I'm gonna stick it in here. So let's get to it. All right, guys, check it out. So the engine is in. Engine mounts are all tightened. It's sitting on the bar. And I just hooked up some brakes so that it stops leaking the oil. I pumped the clutch, so my clutch is working. It rotates and releases like it's supposed to. And for the most part, everything is good. It is, look at this thing, it's just clean. So I gotta work on getting stuff put on, and I wasn't filming a lot of this because to get this engine in here is it's a two-person thing, and so I had somebody come help me put it in, and just out of respect for them not to be in the film. But other than that, it is in finally for the last time, hopefully, and we're gonna wire it up and we're gonna go drift it someday. But anyway, get back to it, start putting all this stuff back together, and all right, guys, so it's time to wire this thing up. I got the engine harness right here, I got the brains right here, and I need to get the rest of the wires. So let's go take a look at that. All right, here it is, guys. This is where the wires are coming out of. See right here, I got the harness. It's going in there. Got the door harness. And then I'm taking everything out, stripping this thing, and I'm taking all the wires, all the harnesses, all the buttons, anything I need electronical, and everything else can go to trash. So we're just gonna do it really quick. All right, guys, so I pulled everything out, all the wiring. This is the whole harness from the back to the front. So I'm gonna pull this out and then put it into the Porsche. All right, got this thing all loaded up. It's time to take it out to the junkyard. Alright, guys, so as you guys know, this is a pretty long video. There's so much going on. A lot of it wasn't filmed because I had somebody help me, and then the other part is there's so much that goes into final assembly. It's just kind of ridiculous. So basically you gotta focus, and so a lot of time I spent more focusing on making sure I get everything, making sure everything's torqued to the right specs, gaskets. Like, I had to go to the store so many times that you guys don't see that behind the screen because it's just too much to film, too much headaches. But as you guys know, this car does not come with any ease at all. So I got the engine in and I ran into other issues. So I'm gonna get to those next episode because I gotta build more stuff. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you subscribe, because there's more needs to be done before it starts. And if you guys are following me on Instagram, you guys seen all the behind the scenes, so you guys know I'm behind on my editing because I've been busy the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I actually haven't touched this car in the last 2 weeks. But anyway, if you guys like this episode, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, do all the good stuff. And have a good day. We'll see you next time. And be safe.